Hi guys, we're doing fractions this week. So fractions is something that we practiced over and over and over and over again till you all got nearly sick of fractions, but they're so important for your maths for secondary school. We're going to go over them, and it's something that we would have kept doing till the end of the year anyway, because we'd have kept practicing those things that you might need in secondary school. Okay, the first thing we're going to look at is simplifying fractions. Now we've got to be really careful with simplifying fractions, because if we don't get our answer to its simplest form, then you've not simplified it. Okay, you can simplify a couple of steps, but more often than not, as we know, the question will ask for the answer in its simplest form. So if it's not in its simplest form, if you can't get it any simpler than that, you've got the right answer. If you can go further with simplifying your answer, you've not got it in its simplest form. So we're going to have a look at this fraction, 5/30. So to help me simplify this fraction, I'm going to be looking for a factor of 5 and 30. It must be a factor of both of them. So I'm going to be looking at my larger number, probably to help me first. So if you're not quick with your times tables, it helps to write your numbers and list the factors, just like we do when we do our factors and multiples work. It's exactly the same. And knowing your times tables and being able to write your factors and multiples is absolutely crucial when doing fractions. So I know that 30, I can have 10 and 3. I can have 1 times 30. I can have 5 times 6. I can have 15 times 2. And I can't think of any more. So 5, I know that 5 isn't going to have many factors. This one is a prime, okay? So I know that I've only got 1 times 5 for this one. But now I can see, right, here we go, they're both multiples of 5. So if I divide them both by 5, I'm going to do my jumps to help me. Perfect, okay, so I get 1/6. How do I know I can't get that any simpler? Well, it's got a 1 on the top for the numerator. I can't get 1 any smaller in a fraction. Let's have a look at the next one. So 42 and 84. So for this one, I know lots of you, rather than listing your factors, you might just start calculating straight away, and very often you spot that they're both even numbers, so you guys divide by 2. That's fine, as long as you keep going until you get your answer in its simplest form. So I'll do that method first. It's not the most efficient method. So if I divide them both by 2, I've got 21 here, and I've got 42 here. Then again, looking what number goes into 21 and 42? 7. Okay. Am I done here? Can I get these any smaller? Yes, because 3 and 6 are both in the 3 times table, so I could divide it by 3. Which would give me 1/2. Now that, it has taken me a bit longer, But I know that that's what lots of you like to do when you're given bigger numbers, a bigger numerator and a bigger denominator. That's absolutely fine as long as we're not stopping here, okay? As long as we're still thinking, can I divide them both by the same number? Have they got a common factor? All right? Getting it right down so you cannot get that any further, okay? Then that method's absolutely fine. But another problem that we might encounter is when you're given a simplified fraction and maybe what it was before, all right? And you've got to figure out what the missing box is. So essentially, this work's been done for you, but we haven't had this process here where we figured out what factor we're dividing by. So that's all you've got to do here. We've just got to put in this step to help us. So I want to look what has happened here to here. What's happened to 3 to change it to 30? So I know that 3 times 10 is 30. So I'm going to do exactly the same to the bottom, remembering that all-important fraction rule, whatever you do to the top, must do to the bottom. So I'm going to do the same. So that means 3/4 is the same as 30 over 40. Same here. Just the missing boxes on our left side this time. I'm still going to put in those jumps. So I could think, what's happened to 24 to get it to 6? Well, I've divided by 4, or 6 has been multiplied by 4 to get 24. So I'm going to think, right, what do you multiply? 4 times 4 would give me 16. Double check it. 16 divided by 4, yes, would give me 4. So when you're giving missing number boxes, you just need to put in those jumps. Have a look what has happened to the numbers that you've been given, okay? And that should be all you need for day 1.